In a small village called Karpenesi lived a simple, illiterate peasant named Roman, a man without schools, titles, or fame, but with one thing stronger than fear: his faith in Christ. Roman heard tales of martyrs, men and women who turned persecution into glory. Stories of courage that shook the nations and comforted believers. And as he listened, something ignited deep within him. Not anger, not pride, but a burning desire to die for Christ. So he traveled to Thessaloniki, then part of the Ottoman Empire, and in the streets he began to praise the Christian faith openly. But he didn't hold back. When asked what he believed, he didn't soften his words. He called Islam a fable and refused to bow to anything but Christ. This infuriated the Turkish judge. Roman was seized and tortured mercilessly. His ribs were broken, his back was scourged, and his sides were torn with horseshoes, all meant to force him to deny Christ and surrender his soul. But he stood firm, unshakable, like a rock in a storm. But the tormentors decided they could do something worse than execution. They conscripted Roman as an oarsman in the Turkish navy, a life of endless toil and suffering. His hair and beard were cut, and he was ordered to spend his days chained to a paddle. Yet Christians intervened. They bribed the captain, helped Roman escape, and sent him to Mount Athos, the holiest place of Orthodox monasticism. There, beside Saint Akakios, he found peace, but no rest. Roman longed for a martyr's crown. So, with his elders' blessing, he set out again, this time to Constantinople. Roman pretended to be insane and walked through the Turkish bazaar with a small dog on a leash. When asked why, he said, "I am feeding this dog as Christians feed you Turks." That was enough. He was thrown into a dry well, the place where murderers were left to die, with no food for 40 days. When they finally pulled him out, he was still standing strong. They tortured him again in every way they could think of, burning, whipping, abusing his body. But Roman would not deny Christ, and in front of witnesses he laughed, greeted Christians along the road. Even when his tongue was cut out for spitting toward a mosque, he offered it willingly for the executioners to finish their cruelty. At last, he was brought to the executioner. With thanksgiving in his heart, he bowed to death, calling it not slaughter, but a wedding feast. When the sword fell, something extraordinary happened. His beheaded body fell facing east, as if alive, a sign that stunned the onlookers and sent many fleeing in awe. For 3 days, a heavenly light illuminated his relics at the place of execution, visible to both Christians and Turks alike. Eventually, an English captain bought Roman's relics and took them to England. And today, a towel soaked in his blood is still preserved at Dociariu Monastery on Mount Athos, a testament to a man who chose death over denial, heaven over fear. Roman the martyr did not merely suffer. He shouted the gospel with his bones,